I'm a landlord and I absolutely hate being a landlord.
And the dogs clearly pissed all over the damn unit.
Even if you get a 10% cap rate, it's still low. It's not a lot of money.
They want to know, can they get their deposit back?
It's not like I'm a telemarketer and I came to you harassing you. You came to me.
I just want to say, being a landlord ain't for the fucking weak. I had a tenant who wasn't paying his rent. I put him in for eviction. The nigga paid his money. Boom. Moving forward. The nigga ain't paid rent for the next 3 fucking months.
Hey, I want to do this video because this is something I thought about doing at one point, and then I started to look into it. But like he said, being a landlord is not for the weak. Yes, there are some pros or some perks to being a landlord, but in this video, we're going to focus on the cons, the downside. And as we go through this video, I need you to let me know in the comments, could you ever see yourself being a landlord? Let's get into it.
I've asked them to just go ahead and get the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, bro, I don't have time to take off work, go down to the courthouse, do all that weak shit for real again, bro. I don't have time for that shit. So, I took the L. You feel me? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Couple grand. I done took more L's than that. But at the end of the day, man, if you gonna do shit like that, man, clean up behind yourself. Like, make it, you know what I'm saying? That was a slouchy ass. And I hope whoever rent to him don't run into the same issues that I ran into with him. You know what I'm saying? I will put the name out here, but I don't want to involve myself in legal issues that, you know, I shouldn't have to deal with because it's just nasty as fuck, bro. You know what I'm saying? Left all his trash, you feel me? He had dogs, I not allowed him to have dogs, you feel me? But the nigga left smeared shit all on the back porch, bro. Like, not even cleaning the shit up, gang. Then on top of that, the nigga poured grease all down my sink, bro. The kitchen sink stopped up. Thank God I'm a fucking plumber. Toilet stopped up. Thank God I'm a fucking plumber. Like, so now I gotta revamp the bathroom because he fucked that up. I gotta buy another door because he kicked the door in, argued with his baby mama in the bedroom. He punched a hole in the wall. He repaired it, but it's a shitty ass repair. So like, at this point, man, I don't even know if I even want to rent to somebody else for real. Dead ass. Like, I was doing all this shit by myself. What the fuck help do I need? I turn that motherfucker into whatever shit. We could party in that bitch every weekend on video. I don't care, bro, at this point. Like, I just ain't in the mood to lose more money fucking with people, man.
Yeah, I could see how a bad experience with a tenant or having a bad tenant could make you like not want to do it anymore. Because I'm sure you thought, or he thought when he picked that tenant that he was going to be, you know, taking care of his property right. But it turned out different. So I can see why now he's like, man, do I even want to get anybody else in there?
Let's talk about the downside of investment properties. We're always talking about how you're getting income from it, but let me tell you about this tenant. So my client has this townhome in South Fulton, and I am the person that pretty much is the point of contact for his tenants because he doesn't live here. So this tenant moved in April. She paid her deposit and everything, but I told my client before she paid, hey, I don't think that she's a good fit. Something was off about her. So anyways, she calls my client behind my back and cries and tells him a sob story and says she just moved here from Texas and she has all her things and she has her kids with her. And I told him, hey, she knew she had kids when she came down here with a moving truck and was crying about that deposit. Long story short, my client did everything. He made sure to get the house up to par. He painted the walls for her, cleaned the carpets, and got new blinds for her, only for this woman to do all of this nasty stuff. Like, this is disgusting, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I hope that she wasn't really living like this with them kids, because if so, CPS needs to be called immediately. I say this to say really, really vet your clients, and I also say this to say this is why some people just don't do nice things and give people chances, because of stuff like this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I that's one reason why I don't think I could be a landlord, because sometimes sob stories will get to me. Just because I'm a good person and I want to help people out, you know, I will like lower rent, or I'll be taken advantage of as a landlord. I'm gonna just say what it is, what it would be. So I don't think I could do it, but
This girl had diapers full of poop waiting. It was just disgusting. I literally could not believe my eyes. And I would say this person's name, but I'm going to be very professional. But I will say that she's a hairstylist in Atlanta. And yeah, this is just unacceptable, disgusting. And she kept getting HOA violations. So I can't wait for my client to start garnishing her wages, because people should not be able to get away with doing things like this.
ladies, if you found out your hairstylist lived in a filthy house, would you continue to be her client? I mean, that's a question.
Happy Sunday, y'all. So some of y'all know, some of y'all don't know, but I do real estate and I'm a landlord. And while it's good to own property, it is a long-term investment. Like, you think that you're making all of this money on the front end, but a lot of it is just the value of the home. You own a home, somebody else is paying for it. You make a couple extra dollars a month. It's not all that it sometimes is great to be, but ownership is great. One day I'll have a paid off house that I didn't have to pay for. That's awesome. But there's other things that I hate about being a landlord. So for instance, like, sometimes on a Sunday I have to go do things because I have a job. And so I do things to maintain. So for today I had to go do a showing. But other times there's like, you have to track people down for rent. Sometimes you're like, your tenants are getting into spats with each other. Somebody's not taking out the trash. They texting you, telling all types of attitudes, all types of personalities. It's a lot. No, I don't want to use an agency to be my property manager, because I can't afford it. Can't afford it. I feel like they charge too much and they don't do enough. So I property manage my own properties. So sometimes it's a lot. Like, it's a lot. You have to have your ducks in a row. It's not just like pick up cash. You have to fight taxes and do all these things. I say all that to say, like, sometimes we glorify these things, and it is work. It is all work. It is all a great responsibility that you have. So I love, being a landlord, because eventually these properties I will pass down to my children. I'm able to make passive income, but it requires some work and some effort on my part. So happy Sunday, y'all.
Yeah, a lot of people think that being a landlord is passive income coming in. But it's not passive at all. You gotta work. Yes, you could hire, somebody to manage the property for you, like she said, but they're not cheap, and they're gonna take away from your bottom line. So if you're not willing to put in the work, I don't think it's for you. I just don't.
Landlording is absolutely not for the weak. It is so crucial that you are not only checking on your tenants, but you're doing regular inspections of your units. You do not want to come for one inspection because you've been skipping them and walk into this in one of your rental properties. Make sure that even your best tenants who never call you, never complain, and always pay on time, those are the ones you have to check on the most. You never know what they're hiding.
There is no way I'm not gonna pay for a private investigator to track you down after you leave my house like this. There is no way I'm gonna just let you whoop. Guess I got a lot of cleaning to do. No, No, no. I'm finding you because we need to talk. We need to talk. This is crazy.
Sometimes I think about the past of like when I first started investing in real estate and I just laugh at myself. Like two big mistakes I made. One was thinking that passive income was somewhat passive because it's not. You have to manage people. And the issue with passive income from long-term tenants specifically is that the cap rate is, even if you get a 10% cap rate, it's still low. It's not a lot of money. Like 1,800 rental income, you have expenses to pay. You got likely mortgage to pay on that, right? If you're having a condo, you got condo fees to cover, right? So your spread, your net gain is actually a lot lower than what they said. Yes, on the revenue line, it sounds good and whatnot, but you're actually not making that much money off of passive income, and it's not passive. And then number two is like, the money that you do make, God forbid the tenant damages your property, there's very little recourse that you have against them because the tenant laws, everything is protecting them, right? If they mess up your house, you have to pay for all of these fees. So all the money that you earned, which was very little to begin with, then goes back into paying for that stuff. So in real estate, you really don't make money right away. It's not what they tell you. Oh, you make all this money. Oh, it's so good to be a landlord. It's not. Over time it is, because inflation helps you do half of the work. But in the meantime, in the short term, it's a grind. It's not that easy. So that's why short-term rentals is important to learn. And also, real estate isn't the only really amazing asset. There are many out there.
Yeah, because if your mortgage on the property is say, let's say the mortgage is $1,800 a month, like you can't charge double that for rent. You got to charge what, 25, 2,600, somewhere around there to be competitive in your area. So that's what, $800 a month income minus the expenses you have if something breaks down or something needs to be replaced, an appliance or something. Yeah, it's like she said, in the short term, it's not as much money as people think it is.
I told you, long as you keep my house up and pay me my rent, I wasn't gonna fuck with y'all. Ain't no landlord doing that shit. Because I know y'all gotta feed y'all family like I gotta feed mine, bitch. This is what the fuck y'all do to people. I swear to God on my mama, bitch, if I see you, I'm going to prison. And that's on my kids. I'll shoot you dead in your motherfucking face, bitch. I'm mad as a motherfucker. I'd kill this bitch if I seen her. On my soul, I would. I'm mad as fuck. My motherfucking tenants called me and asked me for $2,000, and I give it to them. Like this, I'm not that type of motherfucker.
Okay, why would you loan your tenants money? That's a bad decision. But you can hear it in his voice how mad he is, man, because when somebody trashes your home, your rental property like that, it costs you money to fix that. But it also costs you time. So you can't rent it out to anybody else until you get everything fixed. So that means the mortgage has to come fully out of your pocket and not out of your tenant's rent. So think of that too, because I don't know how long it's going to take them to get that house up to par. But yeah, he gonna have to pay the mortgage out of his own pocket until he can get that cleaned up and ready for the next tenant.
3 things I wish I knew as a new landlord.
don't do any favors. If they say they can't pay you your whole month's rent and they can't pay you until the 17th and rent is due on the 1st, on the 6th, you need to be handing them an eviction notice. Always screen your tenants. I had one guy tell me that he would give me 3 months rent up front, but he didn't want to do a screening. What would I look like handing over my keys to my property to a total stranger? I knew nothing about him. No, I passed on him. And don't be afraid to serve an eviction, because I had a tenant who was smoking hookah. I had soot on my ceiling, on my walls, on the floor, and I served an eviction and I put her out.
That's how you gotta be. That's how you gotta be. You gotta be ruthless like that. You know, your tenant come to you, hey, I will be late. I'll pay the rent on the 17th. They could be lying. They probably don't have it, won't pay it, don't plan on paying it, but they just giving you this time so they can buy themselves more time to be in there, you know. And eviction is eviction. They have to be evicted, okay? Even though she's a single mom, 3 kids, she's struggling, you gotta put her out. Could you do that? Let's keep going.
Excuse me, y'all. I'm about to get a little bit unprofessional right now. So this is the type of shit I don't like.
Man.
I stepped out my comfort zone thinking that I was doing a friend of mine and her husband a favor and allow their stepdaughter, stepson, and daughter and son to rent a place because I was going off of their word, saying that they'll be responsible if anything happened. So, to make a long story short, this is how they left my motherfucking house. I gave them a renovated property, and basically, she tried to complain, talking about the heat wasn't working. But that was BS. She just didn't want to pay the rent because Christmas was coming up.
Look, if she said she did a favor for her friend, because they suggested these people to move in there, and they said they'll be responsible if something happens. So I hope she sent them this video and said, hey, something happened. You said you'd be responsible. Something happened. Like, somebody has to answer for this. It's not just me, the landlord, coming in and cleaning up all this mess after it's over. No. Somebody is gonna be responsible for this.
My rental finally got approved to be a valid rental property for the city, right? All right, if you see that note, it says violations were outlet to the left of the washer needs to be replaced, and it said windows need screens, multiple, plural. That's what they gave me for my first inspection on the 8th. I go fix the outlet, and I'm trying to fix the screens. I call the office and be like, hey, what screens need to be repaired? The window is like in 2. This side slides open, this side's open, but this side doesn't open.
Why you ain't lift the blinds?
So there's an example for you. So I asked, like, does this side just need a screen, or does the whole window need a screen? Because this side doesn't open. So I called them and asked them that.
Just the side that open.
And she had no fucking clue. She was clueless. Kept, maybe you need both, or no, you don't need whatever. And then there was a guy in the background. He answered, you only need one, or he didn't know. So I go into.
That's common sense, though. Like, you didn't have to call anybody for that. I understand why you called. Just want to make sure it's so you had no problems with the inspection. But why would you need screen on the window part that doesn't open? For what? So it's common sense, just on the open part. But let's go
to the office and show them the picture that you just saw to get a fucking clear answer. He says you only need half of the window, but all the other windows are like that and the open side has a screen, but the other side doesn't. So I ended up putting screens on all the windows, okay? Because you see in the first note, it said screens, multiple, plural. So I'm thinking all of them. Whatever. So they come out on the 21st. They failed me again because of that outlet. Now, when I went into the office, I asked him what was wrong with the outlet. He said it was loose. So I tightened the fucking outlet up. And they still failed me on the 21st. So I went out there after they failed me. And I happened to bring an outlet tester to test the outlet, make sure it was working. I thought I maybe left the breaker off. The outlet was improperly wired. So I fixed that. I wired the motherfucker up. So I rewired it and sent pictures to them of the outlet. Sent them an email with those pictures. They rescheduled the appointment for the 23rd via the email. 23rd comes, which is today. No one came to the house. I called them and said, hey, no one showed up. I looked online and it said they scheduled the appointment for the 16th. I emailed them on the 21st. They scheduled the appointment for the 13th, but put it in the computer as the 16th. How the fuck you gonna schedule an appointment in the past?
Yeah.
Then I called them. They were like, oh, we fucked up, basically. They passed the blame to whatever. So you see how you go from the 21st to the 16th, whatever. So eventually they were like, all right, we're just gonna use the pictures and we're gonna fucking approve you off the pictures so we can stop inconveniencing you. Raggedy ass city. All this for a fucking piece of paper certificate. $225 and a bunch of trips to the city, to the house, buying unnecessary shit. But it's done with.
Yeah, like the city has to approve it. So you can't just say, I'm done. People move in. No, it's not up to you whether it's up to par or not. You got to go through another step. Could you see yourself being a landlord? Because it's not only tenants you have to deal with, it's the city as well. Okay? So, hey, I'm just a messenger. Don't get mad at me. Let's go. Did they paint it? Into an ugly yellow color. Look, I can deal with the trash and everything. You know, that's one thing. But if you paint my property without permission, even if you have permission, the stipulation would be return it to how it was before you leave. You don't just paint my property and leave. Yellow. Ugh. What?
Here are the things that no one tells you about being a landlord. The sewer line is always plugged at night or on the weekends, never during business hours. The water heater will go out in what seems like half of your rentals all at the same time. A water pipe will freeze at least one of your rentals during the cold months. You will think you have an electrical problem, but you will find when you get there to check it that it's just a flipped breaker.
Look, that's one thing about being a landlord. You're on call all the time. Okay? Because it could be an emergency. They wake you up 3 a.m. talk about it's flooding. It's a flood in there. Like, I just I just couldn't do it. I really couldn't do it.
In 2024, I became the first-time landlord of the most insufferable tenant. They took my New York City apartment and destroyed the bathroom, defiled the kitchen doorway, added new hardwood on top of the existing wood I already had, which was perfectly fine. I don't even want to talk about the living room and the mess of removing the popcorn ceiling. The office was my favorite space until my tenant destroyed the doorway and added shelving that's not even functional. The bedroom is the only room I'm kind of okay with, but I need to get this tenant out of here as soon as possible because she's caused me nothing but stress this year with her crazy ideas. I hope everyone has a less chaotic 2025.
Like I said, changing the apartment or the home or whatever you're renting from me how you want it, cool. But before you leave, like I said, return it to how I had it. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. But that's crazy.
Y'all want to know a pet peeve I have with this generation? They do not know how to communicate. Now, mind you, I consider myself a millennial. In some books, I'm a millennial. In some books, I'm not. I consider myself a millennial. My friends are millennials. My siblings are millennials. I consider myself a millennial. But there has been too many times as a landlord where people will communicate with me at first or either sporadically communicate with me and then they ghost me. Like, if you're not interested in something, just say you're not interested. It's not like I'm a telemarketer and I came to you harassing you. You came to me interested in my property, but then you ghost me. You say you're on your way and then you ghost me. Or you say, I'm going to send you the money this day and nowhere to be found. Like, it's really mind-blowing to me, and it eats me alive because I'm like, everything is about time management for me. Like, I'm a busy person, so you're wasting my time if I'm expecting you to be somewhere and then you don't show up. Then at that, you don't even answer anymore after you just said you was going to be somewhere. Like, or even like, I have had tenants where they're going to be late on rent. Just say you're going to be late. Like, everyone knows, and I promise you, all of my tenants can watch this video. They will vouch for me. If you are late, I don't care if you're late. Just tell me you're going to be late. I'm a cool landlord. Just tell me you're late. That's all you got to do. I promise you, all my tenants will vouch for me. They'll be like, oh yeah, all I had to do was tell her. But it's just crazy. Like, this younger generation does not know how to communicate. Even with like breaking things. As a landlord, if you break something, I need to fix it. How can I fix something if you don't tell me that it's broken? I'm just, as a landlord, I'm like over it. And I'm like, is it discrimination if I don't want young people, no longer want to rent to young people anymore?
You can rent to whoever you want to. It's your property. But yeah, like she said, it's people are going to people. Okay. They're going to ghost you. They're going to not tell you what's going on or what's wrong in the apartment. Because some stuff, people can live with. They don't have to tell you. They're supposed to tell you anyway. But it's dealing with people. Okay. You got to be someone who is able to deal with people, the ups and downs of people, and not get frustrated about it. Could you do it?
Hey guys, how's it going? I am over here at one of my rental properties, and one of my tenants just moved out, and I came in here to, look around, walk around, see what I need to do to get ready for the next tenant. I'm going to show you why some landlords do not want to rent to people with pets, more specifically dogs, okay? More specifically dogs, because they do things to the property that can eventually cost the owner a lot of money. Now, in my case, let me show you what I'm dealing with. Okay, you see all these spots right here? Those are urine stains from somebody's dog. I knew that there was something wrong with this subfloor as I was walking on the carpet in the living room and also in one of the bedrooms. I felt, various areas were elevated. It felt like I was walking on bubbles and stuff like that. So this subfloor right here, when it gets wet, it actually expands. So this person, 2 tenants ago, she had 2 dogs, and the dogs clearly pissed all over the damn unit. So this is going to cost me way more money than I initially expected to spend. And I definitely cannot just put the new flooring on this subfloor because it's the type of flooring it is. It's not going to be smooth. It's not going to be even. It's not going to look good.
How could you even live like that? How could you even live with allowing your dogs to pee on the floor? Doesn't it smell? Like, how could you? Some people just trifling, man. that's the only way to describe it. Trifling.
So I have to do extra things. In this case, remove all this subfloor so I can put the other new subfloor down and put this new flooring material on it. So that is the life of a landlord. So if you do have a dog and you are renting a place, please be considerate of the property.
Damn, that's a lot of pee, dog.
Of the owner. Please be considerate of the potential damages that your pet could be causing.
I'm a landlord and I absolutely hate being a landlord. Okay, so a little bit of context. I bought a condo when I was young. I overpaid for the condo, about like $40,000 from what it's worth now. My mortgage has essentially just paid up until what I would be able to sell it for now. So I've paid down about $40,000 in the mortgage over the course of time that I've owned it. I only lived in it for about 2 years until I met my husband, and it was a one-bedroom condo. It was far too small for both of us, and now we have a family. So I decided to rent it out instead, which, by the way, my rent literally just covered my property tax, condo fees, and my mortgage. I have had no problem renting it out, but I would say that the average length of time someone stays in the condo is approximately about 2 years. I have owned this property for 7 years now. So as much as I would love to sell it, if I sold it, I'd actually probably take a loss on the thing because, you know, you have closing fees, all that other stuff. So to me, it just does not make sense. I would much rather just sit on it and then maybe sell in like 5 or 6 more years and then actually maybe profit like $10,000 or $20,000 if it doesn't continue to go down. Anyway, now comes the time where I have to get another rent.
So already have it 7 years and you're going to wait 5 to 6 more years to sell it. That's what's that? 12 to 13 more years having the property to get 10, 20,000 in profit, even 20,000 over 13 years. So 20,000 divided by 13. I don't know what's the math in that, but that's how much money she would be making per year on this property.
Renter, because my renter, it's about the 2-year mark, and yet again they are leaving and going to find something else. There's not anything wrong with the condo. They say I'm a great landlord. There's nothing wrong with that. They just say that after a period of time the condo just feels too small, which I totally understand. I was in that situation myself. Anyway, so my condo fees have increased significantly since I bought the condo, probably about $150 since buying it. So I've increased my condo price about $50 this time around. Usually I increase it about $50 every time. I don't need to rent it out until about May. And let me tell you, some of the people that have been messaging me, you have all these renters like confused about why there's so much to go through to be able to rent a property nowadays. You should honestly see some of the people on our end that ask for an application or to view the condo. There is a lot of vetting that goes into finding a new tenant. I live 3 hours away. I'm a very hands-off landlord. If something's wrong in the unit, I want them to call me, sort it out, fix it, I'll reimburse them. I don't want to have to deal with a lot of stuff and go down because I have young kids. Being a landlord is not profitable whatsoever unless you have a shit ton of equity in your property. Finding new renters, not fun. There's honestly no point in getting management to run your condo for you because then you'd literally be in a deficit. Being a landlord is not all it's cut out to be.
Yeah, I think that's how I would do it if I was forced to be a landlord. just tell my tenants, hey, you get it fixed, I'll pay you back for it. Like that'll be how I would do it, because I just, I couldn't deal with it.
That's flies. No light bulbs. They took all the light bulbs. This is a brand new stove. Look at this.
God, what
This is
did
a
the
brand new stove.
did the stove catch on fire? Jesus. And you took at least you could do is leave the light bulbs. How much is a light bulb? Dang.
Stove not even a year old. Total floors up. Canned goods left up in here.
Leave the canned goods, but take my light bulbs. Like, we this is crazy. The canned goods cost more, right? Than the light bulbs. Hey. This is crazy.
Tall walls. Ceiling fans full of dirt. They want to know, can they get their deposit back? Can they get their deposit back?
What in the world? There's no way you walked out of there and said, yeah, we gonna get our deposit. Yep. There's no way.
They want to know, can they get their deposit back? Really?
Hey,
Really? Really?
Today is April 1st, 2025, and this marks month 2 that I have had a fully occupied building. I have a building that is 4 units, and I just purchased it November 19th, 2024, so I've had the building for almost 6 months now. So let's talk about my predictions for rent roll in terms of April. Tenant number 1 is a legacy tenant that I inherited with the building. She has already informed me that she is going to be paying her rent late due to an unforeseen issue with her car. So we already worked out an arrangement, and I should be expecting her payment later in the month, but she has already notified me that she will be late. She is well aware that she will have to pay her late fee. We've already discussed that. Tenant number 2 is another legacy tenant. I inherited them with the building as well. Tenant number 2 is typically late, but not late past the 5th. So they typically will pay between the 1st and the 5th, and they typically don't have to pay their late fee. There's, I think, only been one time that they've had to pay their late fee. And if they are late, then they will communicate with me if they're going to be paying past the 5th or the 6th or whatever. But I do predict that they will pay between now and the 5th. Tenant number 3 has been great. They just moved in February 15th, so this is the second month that they will be paying their full rental amount. I predict that she will be paying either today or tomorrow. She's been pretty good about staying on top of things. And tenant number 4. Tenant number 4.
What do you mean she's been good by staying on top of things? It's her second month. What do you mean? Ain't she established a reputation yet?
Tenant number 4 was late paying their rent in March. So tenant number 4 just moved in February 15th. So March 1st was the first month that they were going to be paying their full rental amount. The 1st and the 5th came, nothing. I did have to reach out and ask when I was supposed to expect their rental payment. I was informed that they would not be paying their rent until the following week, which would have been like the 11th, if I'm not mistaken. They did not communicate up front what was going on, but I did meet with them in person. We talked about what the issue was, and I did inform them that if they don't communicate with me, there's no way that I can assist or help. And past the 5th, like once we hit the 6th day of the month, I can start taking legal action
Eviction.
in terms of getting ready to file for eviction. So that's just not a game that they should play.
And people wonder, like, they're only a day late. Why would you start the eviction process? Because the eviction process takes time. It takes time. So I'm gonna get in as soon as I can start this process of eviction. I'm gonna start it. It takes time. Now, if I start it and you pay it, I can easily stop the process, no problem. But it's harder to get it started than it is to stop. So I'm starting right away. Right away.
I did offer tenant number 4 the option to pay bi-weekly instead of monthly as well, just in case that works better. Instead of just paying one large sum amount, if they wanted to pay half of their rent per paycheck, that's totally fine with me. Tenant number 4 did agree to that, and we entered into an agreement for that to take place effective immediately. So I should have received half of their April rental payment March 28th, and I did not. Apparently, tenant number 4 misunderstood our agreement, and
No, they
now
didn't.
her rent will be considered late. We'll not be able to waive the late fee because I was not going to charge a late fee if we were sticking to the agreement that we.
I'd be like, you just want to move out. Like, you just want to move out because you came in February 15th. You pay your deposit, your first half month's rent for February, and then you've been late every time after that. Do you want to just move out? Because I can end this lease and you could go somewhere else. You starting off like this? No.
We just agreed upon. I also informed tenant number 4 that this pattern of paying late is not sustainable. They've only been living in the property for less than 2 months. So us starting off on a foot like this is just not good. I want us to have a successful, respectful tenant-landlord relationship, and I just want communication more than anything. Communication rules my nation. I do not want to have to file eviction on anyone. I do not want to have to do that whole process, but I have to take those actions if the proper communication and the proper actions are not taken.
They won't hurt you, honey, I promise. Let Daddy get back. Hey!
Is that a cat?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
No.
Oh my God. I ain't never seen that like this.
You almost fair. What in the world, man? At this point, I'ma just set it on fire and collect the insurance money. Cause I ain't got time. I don't have time. Like at this point, I'm just setting it on fire.
I am so annoyed. So, I have a triplex basically, and my tenant tells me today, it's the 30th of March, that she wants to move out. And the reason why, allegedly, she's unemployed. All of a sudden, she's unemployed. In order to avoid eviction, she's just going to leave, I guess, on the 1st. She doesn't get along with one of the other people in the triplex, and I really feel like that's the reason why, so I'm kind of annoyed about it. And the other person in the triplex is getting kicked out. They're getting evicted on Thursday, and they're in denial about it, I can tell. So now I have 2 vacancies there, and, you know, I still have bills to pay. So I'm extremely annoyed. And I'm really over being a landlord right now.
Yeah, I don't think being a landlord is for me. Because you have to worry about 2 things. So, I mean, 2 things. You have to worry about so many things. Like, you have to worry about, I hope nothing goes wrong with my property. I hope my tenants are good people. I hope they're keeping up my property. I hope they don't lose their jobs. You know what I mean? I hope they don't have you know, God forbid, a death in their family that causes them financial problems. You know, I hope they don't pass away. Like, it's too much to worry about on a daily basis for me. For some people, you know, they can handle it and they're good. I also believe, if you're going to be a landlord, you got to save money where you can save money at. And being able to repair things yourself would save a lot of money. So if you're going to be a landlord, I say learn the skills that that you need so you can take care of stuff instead of outsourcing it. But it's not for me. But let me know in the comments, is this for you? Are you a landlord? If so, how's it going? How are you how are you getting along with your tenants, and how you feel about being a landlord? Put that down in the comment section. Don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe if you are new here. I'll catch you in the next one.